Hello fine gap viewers, welcome to another video, and in this video we are going to teach you that how you can create a pagination inside your React.js application. So in this video we will create this beautiful product page with this type of pagination. So for example, initially if I refresh my page, so you can see that on initially the page 1 will be open, and if user will click on the page 2, the page 2 products will be displayed to him. And similarly if I click on page 3, so you can see that the page is displaying like this. Obviously you can use this next button to navigate and the previous button to navigate. So once you will click on the previous button, also the products of that specific page will be changed. So friends, video is going to be more important, and tight your seat belt. And in this video we will teach you with very detailed and step by step. So if you are a beginner, this video will also be very helpful for you. Without any delay, let's start. So friends, first of all you can see that I have opened my computer, and inside this I have a folder named document. Inside this folder I have created another folder named React, and in this folder we are going to create our React.js project. To do this I will do two steps. First of all, I will create a new folder and I'm going to name this findgap-pagination, and now I will press enter. Then again I will press enter to open this folder, and next I will click on this address bar and I will type here cmd. So this will open the command line interface in this specific folder. Here you can see that our command line interface path is the same folder that we have created inside documents, React and findgap-pagination. So in this folder we are going to set up our React.js project. To do that I am going to run a command, but before this you have to make sure that the Node.js is already installed on your computer. Let me show you. Here you can see that I have opened the Node.js official website. You can note the domain nodejs.org, and once you will install the Node.js, Node package manager will be automatically installed because they also provide this. So once you will install the Node package manager mean npm, so it means that you can run the npm commands. These commands are very helpful. You can install libraries, create React.js or maybe Next.js, this type of projects using simple commands. So now I'm going to type a command like npx create -react-app and space dot. Maybe you will see on the internet some people type here folder name, but we are not going to do that, because if I will type here findgap-pagination, so then what will be happen, it will create another folder named findgap-pagination inside the findgap-pagination folder. So we have already created this folder, so I'm going to remove this folder and I will simply type here dot. Once I will type here dot, it means that all our React.js files will be exist inside this directory. Otherwise if we will again type the folder name, so what will be happen, inside this folder again when another folder will be created, and then there our project will be created that I don't want to do. So I will simply type here dot, and once I will press enter, you will see that the new React.js project will be started. So first of all it will be installed, and then we have to type another command to run the project. If you can see that the React.js project is set up on our PC, and here it is telling me some commands that I can use to maybe run this project in development server, or maybe if I want to do a test runner, or maybe if I want to bundle the app into static files for production. But currently we are only going to run single command, which is npm start. So before doing that I will type here, maybe you can open this folder, and here you can see that we are inside this folder. So what we have to do, I will simply type here code space dot. So this will open this project in Visual Studio Code. If you can see here, the project is open in Visual Studio Code, and now I have to press yes, I trust the authors. Let me maximize the screen. Here we have the source folder and all the required files. So basically we are going to work in app.js. Before making any changes, I want to run this project. So what I will do, I will click on these three dots, terminal and new terminal. You can also write or use this shortcut to open the built-in terminal. Basically the Visual Studio Code provides you built-in terminal, so instead of writing your commands outside into this CMD, you can directly type your commands inside your Visual Studio Code. So I will click on new terminal to open the terminal, and here I am going to type here npm start, and now I will press enter. You can see that our app is running, so it means that our React.js project is set up successfully. Next, I hope that you have opened this project in Visual Studio Code or any of the other editor that you are using. First of all, we can see these folders. We have to open the source folders, and you will see these files. Inside this file, I am going to click on app.js file. So basically in this file we are going to work, and in your case maybe you will find more code than my file. That is because inside your app.js component I have cleaned up my return statement. So currently there is only div, but maybe in your case you will find that there are multiple HTML tags that were displaying that user interface, that React animation logo and a text. But I have already removed that, so you should remove that too. And obviously there can be two techniques. You can create another folder inside your source folder named components, and inside that you can create your component, or because this is just a tutorial, not a professional app, so I'm directly going to type all of my stuff inside this app.js because this is also a component. Or you can use the second approach, which I am telling you, that you can create another component and import that component inside your app.js file. But in our case we are directly going to work in app.js. First of all, let me remove this. This is our return statement of our main function. First of all, I am going to create 3 state variables that we will use inside this component. The first one would be products. I'm going to pass this function set products is equal to use state, and initial value will be empty array. Because I am using Visual Studio Code, if you see here, it automatically import use state from React. If you want to use the use state hook, you must need to import use state from React, then you can use this. But in my case, my code editor automatically do this, and this is destructive assignment. It means that use state return two things. The first one is the variable that keep the state value. The second one is the callback function that is used to change or update the value of the state. You can think these state variables like simple JavaScript variables, but there is a difference between a normal variable and a JavaScript variable. For example, let me show you. For example, you have another variable like const and product list. For example, I do not name this products because I already have created this, and for example this have value like this. So now what is the difference between use state variable and simple variable? Basically, when your component will be re-rendered, your data that will be stored in simple variable will be lost. But in case of use state, whenever your component will re-render, the data will not be lost. So these variables have other benefits too, but that's why we are going to use this, because we don't want to lose our data once our component will be re-rendered. And obviously you can search on the internet about destructive assignment, and basically it returns as an array. So we have created 2 variables. You can give any name to these variables, but if you will give proper name to these variables, it will help you to manage your code. So you can see that the first variable products, so it represents that all of my products data will be stored inside this variable. And set products, obviously its name is showing that this is something like function that is used to set products. So this was our first variable, and obviously inside this use state you can give any value, maybe array, integer or string, or some other data types as well. So it depends upon your requirement. And now I'm going to declare the second variable like const page set page. This variable or this use state variable will be used to store what is the current page. I'm going to type here use state initially. So basically the value that we pass here, this is the initial value of our state. And next I'm going to type here const total pages, and set total pages is equal to use state, and the initial value will be 0. So I have created these 3 use state variables that we will be used in our app. And next I'm going to call use effect function. Inside this again I am going to pass a callback function like this, and inside this I'm again going to call, basically this is again a use effect, this is again a React hook, and before using this you need to import this from React. So now you can see that, so this part is automatically done by my code editor. You can see that we are using use state, we have use state here, and now here we are using use effect hook. So use effect hook is also here. If in your case that is not, so please write it manually. So because it is very important, without doing this you will not be able to use these hooks in your React component. In React.js, use effect hook is used for multiple purposes. The one purpose is, if you have to fetch data from a REST API, you can use this hook. So because we are going to fetch our product from dummy JSON, let me show you the website. If I open my browser, here I'm going to type dummy JSON. The website domain link is dummyjson.com. If I open this, here you can see that we have this website. From this website you can fetch data from API. So if you are building an application and you need to put dummy data, instead of creating dummy arrays or data sources by yourself, you can use this, because simply you just need to call a simple API request and it will provide you data. If I click on docs, on the right side you can see that they have different options, because we are going to import products. So that's why I will click on products here, and from here, from this documentation you can read about if you want to search a specific product, if you want to get a single product, or if you want to get a multiple product. Before fetching this, I'm going to call a function here, and that function name is fetch products, like this. And here again I'm going to type here const fetch product is equal to async. We have to make the fetch product function async. Let me explain you a reason later. First of all, I'm going to create this function like this, because inside this function we have to wait. Once all our products will be loaded from the API, then we want to process our further line of code in simply. So let me type here const result is equal to await. We only can use this await inside this function if we will make our this function async. I will type here fetch and https. Let me again go to browser. From here I'm going to copy this and paste here, and after this in their documentation you can read, they provide you different options. Like if I type here question mark and set a limit to is equal to 100, so it means that only 100 products will be loaded. You can also perform different operations. For example, if in your pagination in the first API call you only want to load first 10 products, then you can load the first 10 products. And similarly, if customer or if the user of your app click on option 2, then you can load the products from 11 to 20 and so on. From here I'm going to remove this single quotes from here and semicolon, and similarly I'm going to type here const data is equal to await rest.json. Rest is the variable that we have created here, and we have to get JSON from here. And after getting this JSON, we need to check that if any data is returned by API and data.products, and this data array have a key of products, then what it need to do, set products. If you see here, the set products we already have created in the line number 7, set products. So this is a function that we can use to set the value of our products use state hook. So let me type here this, and I'm going to type here data.products, and maybe you can click here console.log and data or data.products. And before this console I'm going to type a string like data that returned by API call. And if I type here the semicolon, and now first of all let me again run my app. So I will open the terminal, new terminal, and here I am going to type npm start, so it will run my application. Yes, there is nothing in our app because we are not returning anything. For example, if I will type here h1 react pagination application, so now you can see that this is printed on our screen. The reason why this is sent in our screen, because the parent class is app, that automatically in your CSS you will see in your app.css that app class text line center to our HTML elements. So this is we are not going to use. We were talking about this. Here you can see that we have console the data that is coming from API request. So now again let me right click and click on inspect, and if I click on console, so you can see that data that returned by API call. So you can see that 100 products that returned from API. Let me copy this object and I'm going to paste this. So here you can see that this is the data that API have returned us, like product title, product description, product price and discounted. Here you can see that it is also providing us other stuff like brand, SKU. So this is the dummy data that you can use to display in whatever format you want to display. Now I'm going to remove this line of code. Next I want to move towards the pagination part. First of all, inside my this app component, I will remove this h1 tag from here, or let's just remove this later. I'm going to type this so I can write JavaScript code inside this, and next I will type here products dot length, and then I will type here this bracket and I will press here enter. So now first of all let me type here a div. I'm going to name this class pagination. You can type here single colons or double colons. Now let me explain you that what does this statement means. You know that when you run a if statement, or when you try to run a condition with AND operator, so first of all what your programming will do, it will check the first condition. So if the first condition will be true, then your second condition will be checked. But if initially this condition will become false, then your second condition will not be executed, or your programming language not be checked. Because what does it means? In AND operator, if any of your condition become false, the results will be false. So first of all it will check the first condition, if products dot length. So now you can see that we have 100 products. It means that products are available in our products array. So now then it will try to execute the second condition. Now inside the second condition, instead of checking something, we are directly executing our code that will display the pagination. Inside this div with class pagination, I'm going to create a span element, and here first of all temporarily let me type here the back keyword, and inside this I'm going to set a on click listener, on click. Inside this I'm going to again call a function. So this is our arrow function, but still I will again call a function like select page handler. So in this what I'm going to type here, page -1. So for example, if user have already opened the page 3 and if he click on back, so it means he want to go to the page 2. So page -1 means page 2. As you know that this is our use state variable, and which will use to create, or which will use to store the current page. Here I want to give you a tip. For example, when you create state variables, this use state variables, and you know that on re-rendering the data that you stored inside them, that data do not lose. But for example, the variables that change on a certain action, for example, maybe you are going to create a variable with position x and position y. I only type here POSX or POSY because you know that we declare a use state variable like this. But for example, whenever user position will be changed, you know that position will be changed x-axis as well as y-axis. So in simply, if you find that you have two variables that will change both immediately, so you should not create two use state hooks and two variables. What you can do, you can store an object inside your specific variable. As you know, you can store integer, string, or an array or an object. So you should store that data inside an object. So these are from the React best practices, and this was the tip that you should follow when creating a use state variables. Okay, now I am going to scroll down here. If I run this app, for example, let me type here the command npm run start. This command is used to execute your project. Okay, there is an error that select page handler is not defined. Yes, the function that we are calling here, we need to define this in our app. So before this return statement, I'm going to declare this function here, like select page handler is equal to select selected page. And basically again this is an arrow function. So if we are assigning this arrow function to this, so it means that this body is also the body of this function. So the parameter we are passing here, page -1, will be passed to this selected page. And here I'm going to name this set page is equal to selected page. Let me type here selected page. So for example, if user click on back, so page, for example, you have page number 3, so page -1 means 2 will be passed to this function, and 2 will be set to our current page. And as you know that when you state variables, your component will re-render. So when our component will be re-rendered, so when we will again display the product according to the user pagination selection. Obviously before this we have to put some if statements so we can set our page correctly. For example, if user is on page number 1 and he click on back, so it means that there will be no page in the backend. So we are not going to set page 0 because otherwise our app will be crash. So yes, we will be type our if statement here, if statement. But before this, let's move to the other logic. Okay, next again I will simply copy this span element and paste here. Here I'm going to type here next, or here we can change this text to previous. Obviously we can type here the text, or maybe we can place logos here or any SVG logo. But this time we will set this on click listener, but page will be passed to page +1 because user want to go one step next. And here in between we have to display our pagination. So what I'm going to do, again I will type here so I can write my JavaScript. Next I will type this bracket dot 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 array, and here again I'm going to type here products dot length divided by 10. I will explain you that what is happening here. And after this I will type here dot map, just type with me, and type here underscore comma I, and then I'm going to type here my arrow function like this, and inside this function we are going to return our span element like this. Inside this span element I will type here I and +1. After this I need to put semicolon here. Okay, one thing we need to do, you can see that error is displaying here, and that is because you can see that this is our arrow function. So these two are the brackets of our arrow function. So we need to type here like this, starting small bracket, and here I need to again type this. So let me first of all remove this arrow function. I'm again going to remove this from here, and first of all I will copy my arrow function from here and cut this. So you can see that after map our small bracket is missing. So again I'm going to type here like this, and now I will again paste my that arrow function inside this. So this is our code. So now first of all let me show you that what it is actually doing. If I refresh, you can see that the first text is previous that we show in our span tag here. The second one is next, so it means we have defined our next span element here. So inside this we have defined our span element which is displaying this counting like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So whatever this code is actually doing, basically this method is converting our products array into another array. So for example, our products have 100 products. So what we are doing here, so this is our spread operator. If you are unaware of that, you should learn first of all about it, that what actually spread operator do. So what spread operator is doing, it will break our array into 10 parts. So product's length would be 100, and if we divide the product to 10, so what will be the answer? The answer would be 10. So it means the new array that on which we are calling this our map function contain 10 elements. So here first of all we do not want to get that element, so that's why the first parameter is underscore, And the second parameter, you can see we have pass I. So I is the index. So it means if the new array we have generated from our this code, if new array contain 10 elements, so the first time if map function will be executed on that, so the first time i's value will be 0. As you know that array index is started from 0, so that's why instead of directly placing I here, I have typed here +1. So first time our index will be 0, so 0 plus 1 will be 1. So that's why our pagination is displaying from 1. If I will remove this 1 from here, as you know that your array index is started from 0, so that's why our pagination will be started from 0. So that's don't the thing that I want to do. So I will again type here +1. I hope you will be understanding this concept, that in simply we are creating a new array using our product's length, and then we are executing our map statement on that to display their pagination. Now inside this pan element we need to pass some attributes, like first of all class name, and inside this class name I'm going to write a condition like if page is equal to I plus 1. So again as I show you that why I'm plussing 1 here. So it means that if page is equal to, the page is the variable that we have defined here. So for example, if user have opened the current page and the current page is 3, so when this loop will generating our pagination part, so if it will check on number 3, so what it should do, I'm going to type here question mark double quotes. I'm going to name this a class like pagination underscore selected, and then I will type here otherwise place empty string here. So now it means when our these paginations will be generated, so this if statement will check either if page is equal to the current pagination element that it is printing, so it will only give a class pagination selected to our that span element, and using this class we will define a CSS like some gray background color that will denote to the user that you have currently on this page. And the second attribute we need to pass here, which is on click listener. So again we will do the same, like selected page handler is equal to I plus 1. So I have already explained that why I am plus 1 in each time I am using the I element. So this is just because our array index is started from 0, but I want our pagination to start with 1, so that's why each time I am using I'm plus 1 inside it. Okay, let's move towards again. Next we have to pass our key. So the key I'm directly just passing I element. So we have completed our pagination part. If I refresh, you can see that everything is printed here. And now again I want to move on this function, and let's just print do some checks before setting our current page. So this set page is the function that we define when we define a useState variable. So this function will be used to update the value of page variable that we have defined on the line number 8 currently. So here I will type here if selected page that we are passing through the parameter is greater than or equal to 1, and it means the selected page should not be less than 1, like 0 or -1 -2. It should be greater than 1, and selected page is not equal to current page. So for example, if user is already on page 3 and if he again click on page 3, we should not update the page because user will be on same page. Otherwise it will generate an additional render that we don't want to do. Our component will be rendered with the bogus reason. So if user is already on page 3 and if he again click on the page 3, we are not going to do anything. We are not going to update our page variable. And the last thing is I'm going to type here if selected page is less than or equal to products dot length divided by 10. So as you know that our product length is 100 divided by 10 will be 10. So 10 will be printed here. Basically, let me cut this condition so you can understand. 10 will be printed here. So basically we are just saying here our selected page should be less than or equal to 10, because we only have 100 pages and we are displaying 10 products. We will display 10 products in each page. So there is no reason or nothing makes sense to move the user on the 11th page, because there will be nothing to display. So again, let me cut here so I can put my condition here. So first of all, I will copy this pagination class, open the app.css file. From here, I am going to remove the previous style. I'm going to remove all the style except of this app class. So this app class is nothing special, just it have the one CSS property to text align center. That's why our these elements are displaying in the center of our screen. Now I will type here my class pagination, type a dot before it, and I'm going to align this specific style. Text align center, margin auto, and padding 80 pixel and 0. 80 pixel padding from the top and bottom, and 0 pixel padding from right and left. And again, display flex, justify content, center, and gap would be between the span elements 10 pixel. So now if you can see that our pagination is looking like this. Again, I will copy this pagination class from here and paste this class here, and if you can see, we have span elements inside our this pagination class. This span element, this and this. So I will copy this span element class from here, paste this here, and I'm going to name this. I'm going to give following CSS properties like padding 15 pixel and 20 pixel, border 1 pixel solid, RGBA 0, 0, 0 and 0.1, margin will be 20 pixel and 0, and cursor will be pointer. So now if I refresh, so you can see that just giving this small style, now our pagination is looking like this. And one thing we need to do more, simply I will copy this class from here and paste here, and then I will type here hover, background color hash EC 3 times. So this is the color code that I have aligned to my this pagination when user will hover any of the element, and the same color we are going to use when someone will select a specific page. So for example, again let me go back. From here I'm going to copy this pagination selected class, and here I'm going to paste this with the dot, and simply I will copy this background color property and paste here like this. So now again let me refresh. So you can see that initially we will be on page 1 because if you see on the app.js, the initial value we have assigned to our page variable, that is 1. So that's why by default on page refresh we will be on page 1 and we will be load the page 1 items, and when user will click on 2, so currently you can see that the second page is active. And yes, in the last we just have to write the logic to display the products from like 2 or 3 or 4th page products. So let's move toward the last part of our video to display the products. To display the last part, after this h1 element, I'm going to type here this so I can write my JavaScript inside it. First of all, I will type here products, which is an array and a use state variable that contain all of our products that we fetch from the API. Now I will type here dot length and then I will type here this bracket and press enter. So as I already explained you that if products length will be greater than 1, so then our this products will be displayed, otherwise there is no reason to display our HTML. And here again I am going to type here a div like this. Again I am going to press enter here, and inside this again I need to type this so I can write my logic here. So just focus on the logic. First of all, I will type here products dot slice, and inside this slice function you can pass like this. For example, if you are on page 3, it means you need to display, or maybe let's more simplify the example. Just for example, you are on page 2. It means that you need to display the products from 11 to 20. So if you will simply type here 11 to or 10 to 20. So what it will do, it will left the 10th product and start from 11, and from 11 to 20 there will be 10 products that will be sliced from our array. So for example, you have 10 piece of cake and we are slicing 1/10th part of that cake. So basically just this is the word slice method do, but we cannot write here 10 or 20 because we have to display our products according to the user pagination selected. So what I am going to do, I am going to type here page multiply by 10 minus 10 and comma, and here again I will type here page multiply by 10. And before explaining you, let me type here map and prod, then I will type here like this, and this inside this I will type my return statement, return, and again we miss one bracket from here and from here like this, and in the last simply I will type here a div like this, and here let me type here demo string. So first of all, before moving on, let me explain you that current code. So for example, our current page is 2 and user click on 3. Current page is 2 and user click on 3. So for example, this is our scenario. So if page is 2, what will be the page value? That will be 2. And first of all, this calculation will be happened, and 2 multiply by 10. Answer would be 20. Let me type here. And minus 10. So 20 minus 10 would be 20 minus 10. So it means that answer will be 10. So it means in the place of this mathematical equation, 10 will be printed here. And the second part is page multiply by 10. So as we discussed, our page will be 2 and multiply by 10 means 10 multiply by 2, 20. So it means that what will be printed here, 10 and 20. So if user will click on 2, we are slicing our products array which contain 100 products. So we are telling it that give me products from 10 to 20. So this is the logic that I have printed here. So yes, products.slice will again give us another array with only 10 products, and here you can see that we have put map to iterate from here that. So let me type here, I'm going to remove this and I'm going to type here prod dot title, and before this let me again type here div. Inside this div I'm going to place my image tag like this. Source would be product dot thumbnail. Let me copy this thumbnail from here and paste here like this, and before this source attribute I need to put equal to here, and next I'm going to type here alt cream image or something like product image, and in the last we will put the closing tag of image. So now again let me refresh here. So if you can see that we have first 10 products initially, these are the products, and if I click on 4, so you can see that the products are changed and only 10 products are displaying here. So friends, in the last if you know about this, the data that we are fetching through the API, let me show you that data again. First of all, I will again console.log here the data.products semicolon, and now I will again refresh. All products will be loaded, and I will right click and inspect. From here I will click on console. So you can see that these are the products. Let me click on this array. I'm going to copy this object, open my Visual Studio Code and paste all the data here. Let me move in the first section, and here you can see that. So for example, this is our single product data. Let me cut here from, and I am going to remove all the other data and paste here like this. So you can see that this is the single data that we have available that we can display in our front end. And in our example, if you can see here, I have displayed product.thumbnail and title. If I click here, we have a title key available that contain the product title. And if I scroll down, so this is the all product information that you can use to display. In the last part, we have the key thumbnail. So these are the two keys that currently I used to display you the product image and the product title. Obviously, you can use other data that this API is providing to you if you are using dummy.json. And the last part is just to design this. Currently you can see that our pagination is working very fine. If I click on 2, so the products 2 are displaying. If I click on 3, so the products from 3 are displaying here. Again, let me again move to the products 5, so I can show you that no repeated products are displaying. So here you can see that. So friends, last part is just to design these products. You can use CSS, or maybe you can use Tailwind CSS. So that part is already available to me. So first of all, I'm going to comment this from here, and the section code that is already available to me, nothing something special, nothing anything special. This is just a section, but with CSS classes, with some not CSS but Tailwind classes. So if you can see here, I have pasted this section here, and which contain some Tailwind CSS classes that we are displaying to the user. Nothing else changed. The same code that I have right here, if you can see, that exists inside this, and the same logic that I show you and I explain to you is already exist in our this code. Simply just the more thing is I added here. I have used product title and product thumbnail. So product thumbnail. So again, nothing is different inside this. These are the just classes to display products in grid format. And now because we have placed our title also inside this, so again I'm going to remove our this title like this. Let me open here, let me refresh our page. Okay, so this is not working because first of all we need to install the Tailwind CSS in our project. So that's not difficult. You can see that I have opened the website, the official website of Tailwind CSS. The domain name is tailwindcss.com. From here I will click on get started, and from here if I scroll down, you can see that we have an option for framework guides. So these are the frameworks in which you can use Tailwind CSS. We are working on a simple React app, so I will choose this one, create React app. So the first one is you have to create your project, that we already do. Then it is providing you to command to move into the project. So we are already inside our this project. So these commands are useless for us. Just first of all, let me click on terminal and new. If you will open this terminal, it means that these two commands are done by you, or not these but these two commands. The step one. The second one is install Tailwind CSS. Let me copy this, and again I'm going to paste this command here, and now I'm going to press enter. So yes, these two commands are executed and Tailwind config file is created successfully. Let me move on. Yes, in our life we should learn to move on. And from here, let me copy this content and open the Tailwind CSS, and I'm going to paste this content key here. Basically in this it is telling that inside our source directory, Tailwind CSS should work for JS or JSX files as well as TS and TSX files. As you can see that our app is app.js, so it is representing here that Tailwind CSS should work in app.jss. So now if I scroll down, we need to copy this from here and open our main CSS file, which is index.css. Again I will open my browser and open the index.css file. From here I will remove all the code and paste these 3 lines here, and that's it. Let me again copy from here, and we need to just run again the command that is used to add Tailwind CSS. I will press here enter. Yes. Why? So now you can see that it have opened our app to a new port, because in our previous port already this app was running. And you can see that these products are designed using Tailwind CSS, and this was the part that we just designed using CSS. Here you can see that the products are displaying, and actually this Tailwind CSS template I do not write by myself. I was copied from Tailwind CSS product page design. Okay, recently I just paused the video and I have searched for the website again. If you can see here, the website name is tailwindui.com. I will also provide the link in the description. So if you are watching this video on YouTube, you can watch the description and you will find this link. or directly you can search through this website, but you can follow this link. Once you will open this link, here you can see that they have provided this beautiful products UI design. And if I click on the code, so this is the code that they provide. You simply need to copy this HTML code with these Tailwind CSS classes. The Tailwind CSS is already we have added in our project, and inside this dummy data, you need to use the data from the data that is coming through this API. Similarly, as we use product.thumbnail, because prod is the variable that we pass in our this map callback function. And similarly, if you want to display product title, so we have displayed title like this. So similarly, you can use any other key with prod key to display data here, and you can use the HTML from here. So friends, this was the technique that how we can create a React JS pagination. I hope. Okay, let me test this again. Let me go previous and next. So now you can see that these two buttons are also working. If you have any question, you can ask us in the comment section. We will try to answer your question. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel for our regular videos. And finally, thanks for watching.